as always, we've got merch for the channel. We have our Nerd Creative range and our Stay Creative range. Links in the description. Get whatever you want. Creatives, how are you? Welcome back to the Nerd Creative channel. DeAgostini Build the Moomin House, Box 16, Part 6. In this video, we'll complete issue 64 of the build. Grab yourself a coffee, sit back, relax, and enjoy. With every stage of the build comes with component parts and a magazine. These are the component parts for issue 64. Let's have a look inside. That looks really good. I haven't got any blue paneling on the outside of mine yet. So we're going to be building this wood store, which is seen on the outside. As you see there it is. We've built this, and also we've got this brickwork outside. The Philly junk from Moomin Valley in November looks after the Moomin house while the owners are away. Moomin land, midwinter, the great cold and the coming of the Ice Maiden. So here's a list of all the components that come in this issue and the step-by-step instructions so that we complete this wood store at the end. Really good. So as always, before I start any build, I like to make sure what it says we're supposed to have here, that we have in here. So we're going to be using everything from here, so I'm going to open it up, try and make sure that nothing pops out, flies to the other end of the room. So we've got front beam, we've got two of them here. We've got horizontal beams, which are either these two or these two, and then crossbars, which is these two or these two. We have rear left posts here, front left post, and front right post. So we've got four. We have left and right roof slope. See what's under here. Yep. We have the floor. We have the wall. We have the rail. We have the tile ridge. So we do have everything that we're supposed to have at this stage of the build. So we've got our components, we've got our magazine. Let's begin. First thing we've got to do is kind of locate everything. So this is the rear beam, and you can tell it's the rear beam because it's got like two notches like that. So that's what that looks like, as opposed to the front beam, which looks like that. So you get one of the crossbars, which look like that. There's two of them, and they look the same. So we get one of these, and we get the rear beam, and the rear beam has to lie down in this orientation. I'm just checking if it is the right way around. This orientation there. and we've got to put the cross beam in that hole there. So just need to get some glue, wood glue. And cocktail sticks. Yeah, you got to make sure you get the right pieces, because it's quite, some of the pieces look very similar. So I'm going to put some glue on here and here, like that. On all the sides basically. And then this just slots in there, like that. Clean up all the excess. Turn it, that's its orientation there. We do the same with the front beam, which is this, have it at this orientation, and just again on the crossbar just put some glue, just making sure that you got your orientations correct, or it won't go together the way you want it to. So that's in, clear off the excess. So that's them two sorted. The next thing that's okay is the rear right post and left post. And the way you can identify them is they've got like a, you can see they've got like a beveled edge there. So one has a beveled edge on this side here, and one has a beveled edge on this side, which is here. So this is the left and this is the right. So we've got to get the rear beam, which is this. And the rear beam faces down on top of these posts like that. There, like that. Just checking. Yeah. Just checking, and that they go in there together like that. So we've got to put glue here and here. It is a little bit confusing, but because some of the pieces look quite similar, as I was saying before, but I've managed to work out which one is which from a series of eliminations. So put glue in there, and we'll put glue in there, like that. Make sure that this is left and this is right. No. Yeah. That's left and that's right. I was getting a bit confused then. And this sits down like that, so that we've got two notches there. So if that was the front of it, it's got two notches like in its back on the shoulder blades. So this goes in there, and this one goes in there, like that. It does seem a bit confusing, but I'm going to leave that to dry before I get any more confused. Just while this is drying, we've got to add these two to put these horizontal beams in. There's a long tab and a short tab, and it's the short tab that goes in those two notches there. I know, but once you've stuck a few of the pieces together, you eliminate the confusion, because it's like these two here. I had to work out what the difference between these two were and these two were. I do know that now, but because that's left and right, but those two are not left and right. Okay, so we just need to that's going to go there, like that. So we need to glue underneath, like that, and on the tab itself. So that will sit in there like that. And this one will go on the other side, so just glue it in the same way. Just glue underneath and on the tab, and it just goes the opposite way of that one, like that. There. Make sure it's lined up properly. See, if I tip it slightly, you can see it's starting to take shape. So I'll leave that to dry, all those pieces to dry together. I brought the floor over, which is this, and the orientation is this curved side is at the back because it will go against the house, which is round, and the flat part at the front. So what we're going to do is lift this up, put glue on these tabs, and it goes in there, like that. I've brought these two in readiness, and I've positioned them in the way they're supposed to go, because if you notice, that's slanted inwards, and that's slanted inwards as well, and you do the same with those two, which will be going in here and here. So I'm going to get some glue on a cocktail stick so that I can put this into the floor of the woodshed. It makes sense when you get to this stage. It was just very confusing because a lot of the pieces are quite similar. But there we go. Let's make sure I've got plenty of glue on each of these, and then I can push them into these holes. And it'll just make it more sturdy. There we go. I just need to clear off that glue. Making sure we're doing all sides there. Because these two are going to go in like that. Maybe like that. Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, it's quite confusing. Still not 100% I've got it right. I think it's okay. Just checking. I think I put them two in wrong. I think that one's supposed to go there and that one's supposed to go there, because they're creating the slope of the roof. So I think I might have to swap these two over, because they're wrong. Yep, swap them over, because they've got to create that slant like that for the roof. And then if you get these in here, they create the same slant as well. Yep. You've got to get it right, because it only goes together one way. So even when I thought I had it right, I didn't, because I kind of looked ahead, and there's a slanted roof that goes on there, and these all have to slant the same way, and then these have to slant the same way, so that the roof will sit on properly. But yeah, I've got it now. So to give this complete sturdiness, I've got to put these in. So we've got to put some glue on either side of here and there, and then in there as well. All the connection points. So I'll put it in the floor first, and then I'll position them like that. Just need to clean up that glue because there's quite a bit of excess. And it will be noticeable if I don't clean it off. Like that. And that creates the sturdiness there. We're just going to put the other one on the other side. Do the bottom part, tabs. mouth section there. It's not a mouth, but put it in the floor and then marry these two together like that. Clean up the glue. This is quite a bit. There. So that's what we're looking at. This kind of structure. Where all the slants are in the same direction. So you got the bigger slants are on the outside and the smaller slants are on the inside, and then that slant would meet that slant there, and that slant would meet that slant. So that's the base of the wood store. Ooh. Nearly got it right. I had to swap these two over because this sits at the front and there needs to be a notch there. So yeah, I can still get it wrong. So it's right now. So I just need to stick this piece on, and we're done with the base. So I just need to put some glue. I'm going to put it here. Put some glue on here, this tab, and on this tab here, like that. Some on that tab, some on that tab. I'm going to take off the excess. And this sits in here. I just wanted to put it on because it solidifies the whole shape. Like that. There. That's what it's supposed to look like. So the next thing we're going to do is this, which is a wooden wall. We've got to get the craft knife out and separate them. Doesn't matter which side. Try the other side. There's one. That's a little bit stubborn. There we go. That's them out. So what we're going to do is we've got one on either side here, like that. And then one on the front. So I just need to clean up these edges. Yep, so I've got a sanding stick and I'm just going to tidy them up. That's all we needed to do. So we've got to stick them on. I'm just seeing what... Okay. Like that. I'll put glue on here rather than on here. I think that'll be easier to do. Now that this is fully dry, I can tilt it like that. There we go. And it's got to be flush with this front section here, so it doesn't really matter if it sticks out at the back. That's how it's supposed to sit there. See if we can get the other side done. Remember that the coloured side is at the top. And it needs to push up like that. That one's on upside down. Let's quickly fix that. That's how it goes. Making sure it's flush at the front. There we go. We've just got the front one to put on now. Just remember the curve is at the back. Oh, I've got some glue on the cocktail stick. Just got to make sure we get these edges as well. Thin it down a bit like that. So we don't want too much on, but we want it completely covered. Like that. Then we'll put the front on this way round with the blue at the top. There we go. Let's leave that to dry. I've left it a little time to dry now. So we're going to cut these walls. I actually call these walls, they're not walls. These are called rails. These are rails. So just need to separate these two walls. Probably do it from this side. I'm wondering if my knife's sharp. There we go. Let's give them a little sand. Smooth. These walls go here. They'll go that way around with the blue at the top and the blue at the side. So that one will go there, and this one will go there like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a marker with my finger where we go up to. It's about there. And then I'm going to put some glue on the bottom here. That's the other contact point. So removing in the excess glue. Yep, that's not bad. It's not bad. That's one wall. Let's do the other side. Same again, I'm going to do a marker with my finger of how high the glue has to go. So I go like that. There's my marker. With my finger. Keep my finger there and just make sure we just go up to the finger like that. Same on the other side, got to be careful because that wall's still setting. Remove any excess because we can use it on the bottom, which is here. And remember that the blue part's at the top. Got a bit of glue there, hang on. There we go. Just line it up and lay it down. Make sure it's flush. And that's the walls. Just leave that to dry. Okay, so give this enough time to dry. So we've got to put the roof on now, and with the roof, it's got a straight side, it's got a curved side, which matches the curved side on the back here, because it pushes against the round outer shell of the Moomin house. Well, it's round inside as well. So I've got these laid out in the positions that they go. So we've got to put glue on the contact points, which is here, 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 and here, and also here, where the two pitches meet, like that. So that's not enough. So I put glue here, here, and here. You can also put glue here. Yeah, so we can put glue here, and I do believe, no, we can't put glue there because it doesn't need glue there. So yeah, we can put glue here and here. I'm going to put this one on. I test fitted it, and it's a little awkward to get it onto here. I don't know why, but it is. It's a little awkward to get on there. Try that side. A little awkward to get on. Push it down. There. That's the first one. I'm going to put some glue across there where the two pitches meet. Remember the curved side, it goes to the back. There we go. That's the back. And this is the front. So it looks okay, actually. Does it looks okay? This seems to be off a little bit. Yeah. Just gonna leave that to dry because we're gonna put some tiles on the roof, like we've done before. And here are they. That's the tiles. They've been pre-cut, and then we just lay them out. Starting at the bottom, and then you sit on top, sit on top, sit on top, and then on the other side. So leave that to dry, and then we can start putting the tiles on, because I think the tiles and then we put this ridge on top, and that ridge goes there like that, finishes it off. Yeah, we've only a couple more steps to do. Tiles on, ridge on, done. Just leave that to dry. While that's drying, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove all of these from their housings. They're all numbered, so they do go in number order. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the top. 5, 6, 7, 8, and the top. They're pretty much all cut out. We just gotta so that's one side. And this is the top. Like I said, they're basically all cut. That's that order. This is 5. 6. The top ones are not numbered. 7. And 8, and then the top one. There we go. So just got to put glue on them. So it says we've got to start on the right side here. So I'm just working out which way around this goes. Yep, goes there perfectly. So I'm going to put some glue on the back. So let me just move things across. So these are all together on one side, and these are the side that I'm doing. Let's get everything in shot. So we put glue on the bottom like that. And let's spread it around. We'll lay the first tiles. It's pretty much straightforward, you can't go wrong with it because they're all numbered. So we get number 2, which is this one. I remember doing the is it the veranda? That was quite a big work. It was a lot of work, but we got there. I'm just gonna spread it around. Up the, I don't know what you would call these. Fingers. Spread some of the glue off. And we're going to that line there, so we just lay it on top. And 3 goes there, 4 goes there, and then the top one. So we've got to go right to the edge, but not over the edge. I'm going to remove some of this glue because it will be noticeable. Right, number 3. Just repeat the process. I'll show you this side and then I'll do the other side off camera, because you don't really need to see me do it all over again. Still some glue on here from the last one. My voice is going a little bit, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, my voice is usually louder than this, if you watch my videos. So we're actually covering the numbers as well when we lay them. So that goes there, like that. We just need to clean it up now. Whoops. Make sure it's pressed down. It's a little bit difficult to get. That's it. Number 4. Remember, I've still got some glue on that stick. Cocktail sticks are amazing for spreading. It's the right weight and the right tool to spread the glue around, so you're not wasting brushes. But you know, if you use paint brushes, and unless you've got some kind of solvent cleaner, which I don't have, you end up just tossing them away. Right, get this 4th one down. I'm going to get it to the line. I should be able to scrape that pen off, that glue off. I'm not going to do it while I want it to stick to the surface. And then we get this last piece here that has no number on it. We don't need a lot of glue because there's not a lot of it. Yeah, just spread the glue on the fingers. That's what I'm calling them. They're not fingers, but get the top one on. I'm getting glue everywhere, by the way. So just sit it on, and once you've got it on, you can reposition it. And that's one half of it done. Like I said, I'll do the other half off camera and I'll come back and we can see it finished before we add the crown. It's not a crown, but so I've completed the roof tiles on both sides. So all is left to do is to put this ridge in place. I was going to use my cement, but I'm actually going to use super glue because it sticks better. Sometimes the cement doesn't always stick. Let me just get this on quickly, like that. I don't use super glue that much anymore, but for things like this, and it dries really quick, so I'm just going to lift that. Sometimes super glue is, if you've got like a hard piece and it's sticking onto a soft piece, I would tend to use super glue. So there it is. That is the wood shed finished. All we need is stacks of wood. So in issue 66, that's when we'll get the wood that we stack up here. But yeah, I'm really happy with that. It's turned out really well. That's what we have. And that completes issue 64 of the build. I'd like to thank you for your company. I'll see you in the next video. Stay creative.